They're already here, although still in the lab and on a leash, and generally not armed. Well, not yet. Humanoid robots are too slow for battle, but you can see where it's going. For instance, why not send them through a door first in urban assaults?
LS3 follow tight.
Robotic mules have been developed to lighten the load for infantry and to chase down enemies. After centuries of slaughter, the lure of slashing mass casualties by delegating war fighting to machines is obvious. But there's other reasons they appeal to military commanders. Robots don't get tired or hungry or scared, and they stay on mission. While waiting for robots to become more capable in battle, armies are bringing robotics to create so-called enhanced or augmented soldiers. Exosuits like these can increase strength and endurance. Drugs are also being trialled to elevate mental abilities and reduce the need for sleep. But right now, none of this is even the biggest game changer. When it comes to the future of war, what if big pieces of hardware, like the ones Australia is planning, the Joint Strike Fighter, the new submarines, what if they miss the point? What if the future is about swarms of small, cheap, disposable drones? Maybe even millions of them. At a recent Future of War conference in the US, former fighter pilot and drone expert Mary Cummings questioned whether the Pentagon focuses too much on big weapon systems.
Now we have 3D printers, and I have students over a weekend who can build a drone, program a drone. When you can put 1 million drones in the air for, let's just say, a couple of $100,000, and China could easily do that. You have to start thinking about a whole new way of fighting a war when it's not just the big monolithic platforms, but it's these small drones that are very, very cheap that can just keep coming.
There are now highly agile miniature drones. Some that look like birds or insects. But no matter how small, they could carry some kind of weapon.
It can be equipped with incapacitating chemicals, combustible payloads, or even explosives for precision targeting capability.
80 different countries equip their militaries with drones. On top of that, oh, by the way, all sorts of non-state actors have gotten them, everything from groups like ISIS and Hezbollah to paparazzi to farmers, you name it.
An incident at the White House is once again raising major concerns about security.
A drone recently even ended up on the White House lawn. But you can't use a multi-million-dollar missile to shoot down tiny drones. So one option being explored is the use of lasers, like this successful test on a large drone 2 years ago. While expensive to develop, lasers cost just $1 a shot, and they're trying for smaller systems. Drones are spreading not just across the skies, but into the sea, with underwater drones predicted to challenge the role of submarines. The Pentagon is even researching how it could bury launch pods in the deep sea for years at a time before triggering them to the surface and releasing pre-packed drones. It's when you mix drones with accelerating artificial intelligence capabilities that human control in the decision-making loop starts to shrink, because the sheer speed and processing power of computers outstrips what humans can do. It's already happening.
30 different nations have air defense systems that can detect an incoming missile, or some of them even a rocket or mortar that's coming in so fast that the human reaction speed is basically to get to mid-curse word, oh crap. Instead, the system automatically identifies the target and is able to shoot at the target in the time the human isn't able to react. The human role has changed from being in the loop of decision to, as a US Air Force document put it, being on the loop of decision. That is, we've gone from joysticking it, controlling everything, to now we're managing them. Stealthy drones that can do things like take off and land on their own, fly mission waypoints on their own, ID targets on their own. But we've not been able to put it all together into one whole, carry out the entire mission on its own. But that's coming.
But artificial intelligence still has a way to go.
Computer recognition right now is at the space where if you show it an image of R2-D2, the most advanced recognition system today will come back and say it's a stapler. Mistakes will happen. Oh, by the way, guess what? Humans make mistakes in war too.
And then there's hacking, because software will become the military's nervous system. If you hack into it, you could turn a weapon back on its own.
The ultimate co-option is recode all American systems as Chinese systems and recode all Chinese systems as American systems. A human pilot would say that makes no sense. I'm questioning that order. A computer, if you have the right access, will follow that instruction.
Future war expert Peter Singer has co-written a novel imagining what armed conflict could look like between China and the US.
Unlike a World War II, we'll see battles in these two new places, in outer space and cyberspace. And whoever wins those battles, whoever controls the heavens, so to speak, and by that I mean the communication satellites, the surveillance satellites, the satellite navigation, the GPS, all of the wars on land and air and sea depend on that. The same thing goes for cyberspace. Whoever controls it, or just whoever is able to control access to it, is going to dominate the physical fight.
It begs the question, is Australia ready for this kind of war?
An Australian parliamentary committee is currently examining the potential use for unmanned vehicles or drones for the Army, Navy and Air Force. And Australia's defence strategy is also being reviewed.
But one of the Defence Department's own consultants believes the ADF is lagging badly behind.
When it comes to the future of warfare, the Australian Defence Force is at least 15 to 20 years behind the United States. Right now, Australia's focusing on sort of last generation weaponry. By the time we get our new order of submarines, whether it's a Japanese sub or some other design, they will be outdated. They'll definitely be outdated. Australia needs to be thinking about the next generation of warfare and the fact that our enemies are already deploying highly sophisticated drone technologies. So we need to have drones in the air, under the water, and on ground as well, mobile systems.
The fear is that we might be arming ourselves for yesterday's war.